Great day, everyone. I am so excited to stop by and talk to you about one of the topics I'm most passionate about in my life. I've been having a discussion with a colleague, a good friend, and we've been talking about the topic of legacy and the idea of if I could tell you one thing. And so some of this, it would be part of my one thing for sure, what I'm going to talk about today. Today, I would love to address what can hold you back from sharing your story. And sharing your story can be that you're going to share it with one trusted friend. It doesn't mean you have to do a Facebook Live. It doesn't mean you have to speak. It can be that you've just decided that there's a part of you that you've never shared with anyone and that it's time and that you're ready to do that. What can lie on the other side of that? I'm going to tell you: freedom, self love, confidence. I say the greatest lesson of my life is the greatest gift you can give yourself is to allow others to love you for who you really are. We just never give them the chance. So this is part of the discussion today. Lately, I've had a few discussions with friends talking about, where they say I have shame. And a lot of people, they don't even know they have shame. But when we talk about shame, fear, concern, worry, yeah, it's all there and it applies to everyone. Applies to everyone for sure. So there are several things that can come into play when you're holding back from sharing your story. And if you're watching live, please let me know in the comments. I would love to be able to greet you. If you are watching the replay, let me know that as well. And as I talk about these things, I want to invite you. It's okay to say like me or something like that in the comments, because I don't know that anyone is going to really watch this and go back and read them and click and say, well, James said that and John said that and Joe said that. People aren't going to do that. So I would love to interact with you. I would love to interact with you, because what I want you to know is no one's immune from all this. No one, no human. We all have it. So you might be thinking about telling your story. And a lot of the people that I come into contact with and engage with are people who feel super called to tell their story. They want to write their book. They want to speak. And a lot of that may have to do with their faith and their testimony and sharing what God has done in their life. And I know that that's been my huge driver. But what can happen that stands in the way? Because you can know you're called, but how are you showing up in that calling? Well, it goes back to the P word, might be how it's showing up. If you're not on fire and doing the things, you might be experiencing the P word. Now, what is the P word, Terry Lee? It is procrastination. Have you ever procrastinated about telling your story, about writing your story? I can tell you so many times. And even if I have told it, and even if I have written the book, I'm working on a rewrite now. That rewrite, if it is now, let's date this. If it is now March 5th, that rewrite will come out the second Saturday of May. It'll be available the second Saturday of May. Because that's going to remove some procrastination in my life by telling you that. So here we go. How does the procrastination, why do we do it? Because we have fear, we have concerns, and we have worries. So I want to address several things with you, 3 things with you today that could be holding you back. And I want to speak into it if I could. And I want to let you know I've lived this in my own life. I've worked with hundreds of people who have done the same, who feel the same. And so let's dive in. So number 1, do you worry about what others are going to think of you if they really knew the real you? Do you worry about that? Man, I did. Hugely. We all suffer. Even when we work through that, I think we all can suffer from that just a wee little bit. It's still there. That little thing doesn't go away, right? Sometimes in the past, I've had people say, hey, I bought your book on Amazon. I'll be like, oh, hello, it's out there. It's out there. The whole thing is out there. And this will go back to what I say is my greatest lesson. What I want you to know is that people crave being real, they crave being authentic, and they just wish they could be that real. And I have only found 99.95% of the time love and acceptance, and they only love me more. People are inspired by where you've been, how far you've come, and where you are now. People want to hear the story of what God has done in your life. And there's something beautiful about being known for who you really are and loved for that. So I want to encourage you, if that is some of what's holding you back, that let's let it fly. Tell that person, go do that live, get going on that book. Number 2, some of us, because life is lifey, sometimes we have a story because there's things that people have done to us in our lives. You know, we are humans, we make mistakes, and some of them are horrific, the things that people have done to us. I don't think that any human has made it through life without being hurt by somebody. And that can look like physical hurt, emotional hurt. It could be they've stolen from you. Y'all know what I mean, right? Y'all know what I mean. And so in telling your story, you might be concerned about revealing a sticky mess. And do you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to call out your neighbor. You don't want to call out your uncle, your cousin, your best friend's dad, your babysitter. What I want you to know is that there are ways to still let people have your story, and you don't have to reveal every single thing, especially if you're going to speak. You can choose in a book to reveal as much as you want, right? In a speech, there's a way, I call it story compression, just to bring it down and summarize it. Summarize it in a way that people get the gist. And so I'm going to give you one of my real life examples. And so what I want you to know is you are always at choice what you share. You don't have to share everything, but you can share enough. And so my story compression, while I could say, oh, and give all the details, but I share about a time in my life when I felt unlovable. I was seeking love in all the wrong places. And in a 10-year period that I was the cheater, I was cheated on to the max, and I have been the other woman. Now, do you get the gist? You get the gist. I didn't name names. There's a lot of juicy details in there that, and this is not part of the proudest moments of my life, right? I'd rather today tell how I've been married for 23 years to my most amazing husband, Terry, and that I knew the day I met him that God had brought his gift into my life. Right? I'd rather talk about that. But the beauty of that, when people only know us now, is they're like, whoa. Yeah. So you can also reveal a bit more, even in a book, and change their names. You don't have to call them out. You don't have to call them out. If the only reason you wouldn't tell your story today is because you're concerned about revealing a sticky mess and you would like to talk that through with anybody, I'm your girl. I want to invite you to DM me and say, I'd like to talk to you about my sticky mess. I'd love to talk that through with you. I have something going on in my life today, and I will come out about it. I will come out about it, but just circumstances are not there for me to really go public in this time. I need to have more solid information. Does that make sense? And so I had to ask myself, who are the stakeholders? This is your question for revealing a sticky mess. Who are the stakeholders and how is this going to affect them? And I was never going to go and say details without certain people in my life knowing that anything is happening. Does that make sense? You can do the same. Number 3, some of you are waiting to tell until you feel ready. And what I want you to know is in your life, this is $1 million hint or no strategy in your life, in your business, in your career. The feeling of being ready is never going to come. Have you ever felt ready? No. Okay. So what I want to encourage you to do is go do the thing. Just push through. Push through. And it's when you're going to know it was the right time, when you're going to know it was the thing to do is after. And it's after when someone comes to you and says, I want to thank you for telling your story. I want to thank you for telling your story. And this is what it meant to me. And I'm going to tell you what, they are most likely not going to say the same thing. It's shocking what people can take from it and the lessons and the seeds you plant. Shocking. But when you're going to know it was the right thing to do is after. And so if you're not feeling ready, make the video. Have a talk with a publisher. Just begin writing. Tell that one trusted person. If you need to, go get a counselor, talk to your minister, talk to a coach, a therapist. Just let's begin to get this stuff out, because the healed you is the best you. And your journey matters, and your story matters. A bonus one, why people hold back, is they don't think their story is good enough. I have people tell me that all the time. They look at some of the people that I have worked with, that I have featured their stories, and they say, I've never been kidnapped. I've never had a gun to my head. I. And I'm like, well, neither have I, right? I'm going to tell you that whatever your journey is and whatever your story is, it is the thing that can set somebody free. It is the thing. And it can only come from you. It can only come from you. So if you've been holding back, this is your sign. This is your sign that it's time. I am so excited to share with you today. You're going to see me sharing much more regularly, and I'm so excited to that. I love to talk about story, owning and embracing your story. For those who are ready to do that, I love to talk to them about making a business of speaking, about not only having impact, but income. And these are the types of things that I talk about when I coach with you. These are the types of things that I talk about and we go through in the Business of Speaking School, the BOSSchool. And if you are ready to chat through some of the things that I'm talking about, I'm here. I want to be your fan. I want to be your best encourager, your best supporter, and help you in any way I can. So if there's anything that I want you to remember from this time together, it's that your story matters, and you and your story are good enough. You and your story matter, and you are loved. Have a blessed day. Tech is great till it's not, guys. Maybe.